The streets of New York glitter with diamonds, but under the shine lies a battle for power that could destroy everything. Episode 7 of The Gilded Age left us with betrayals, secrets, and alliances that will decide who truly rules the cities. High society. As we head into Episode 8, the question is clear. Who will rise and who will fall when ambition collides with tradition asterisk? Episode 7 opened with the ballroom still echoing from Bertha Russell's daring victory against the old guard. Her determination to secure her place among New York's elite was not just about personal pride. It was about rewriting the rules of society itself. Bertha understands better than anyone that money may open doors, but respect is earned through influence and spectacle. The episode made it clear that she is willing to fight for both, no matter the cost, at the same time. Agnes Van Ryn continued to stand as the voice of tradition. Her sharp words and stern disapproval reminded us that old money refuses to bow to new wealth. But her hold on society is not as strong as it once was. Cracks are beginning to show. Even her closest allies question whether her resistance is protecting her dignity or isolating her from the world that is rapidly changing. Then there is Marian, caught between the two worlds. She represents a new generation, one that sees, beyond wealth and titles, her growing independence and subtle defiance of social expectations were some of the episode's most powerful moments. The way she looked across a crowded room, aware of the rules, yet quietly rejecting them, carried more weight than any speech. Marian has become the bridge between the past and the future, and that role will only grow more dangerous as secrets unfold. Peggy's journey took a sharp turn as well. Her work as a journalist has given her purpose and power, but it has also drawn her into conflicts that society would rather silence. In Episode 7, we saw her confronting not just the barriers placed on her career, but the emotional weight of the choices she must make. Peggy's story is not just about ambition. It is about survival in a world determined to keep her in the shadows. Yet she refuses to stay there, and her courage is beginning to inspire those around her. Meanwhile, behind the polished walls and glittering gowns, betrayal was brewing. Husbands and wives exchanged more than polite words. Rivals played a dangerous game of charm and manipulation. The entire episode reminded us that the Gilded Age is not simply about wealth. It is about strategy, and every character is a player on this board. As the credits rolled, one thing became certain. Episode 7 was not an ending. It was a warning. The stage is set, and the next move belongs to those who dare to risk everything for power. Asterisk. Every episode of The Gilded Age is more than elegant dresses and lavish halls. It is a study of ambition, identity, and power. Episode 7 revealed that every major character is walking a thin line between personal desire and public image. And in that struggle, their true selves are beginning to shine through. Bertha Russell's arc was at the center of this storm. She has proven time and again that her wealth is not just for decoration. It is her weapon. Yet in this episode, we saw a more vulnerable side of her battle. She does not want only to be seen. She wants to be remembered. Every word she speaks, every event she hosts, is a statement that new money can dominate old tradition. The symbolism is clear. The glittering chandeliers and overflowing banquets are not simply luxuries. They are her battlefield. While she wins applause, we cannot ignore the loneliness behind her victory. Bertha may conquer society, but will she ever truly belong to it? Agnes Van Ryn, by contrast, is the embodiment of resistance. Her presence is a fortress built on rules, manners, and judgment. Yet the fortress is cracking. We see her sharp words becoming defensive rather than commanding. She is fighting not only the Russell family, but also the inevitable tide of change. The hidden meaning is painful. Agnes is not simply protecting her social world. She is protecting her identity. To lose power in society would be to lose herself. And that is why her pride has turned into desperation. Marian remains the bridge between the two worlds. She moves with grace in drawing rooms, yet carries the quiet defiance of someone unwilling to be bound by convention. Episode 7 gave us subtle but powerful moments where her independence was undeniable. A glance, a choice of words, a refusal to bow. Each act tells us that Marian is more than a passive observer. She is the question that society does not want to answer. Can a woman be free to choose her own path when both tradition and ambition pull her in opposite directions? Her story is not about rebellion, it is about freedom. And that makes her one of the most dangerous figures in the entire series. Peggy's arc carried the deepest emotional weight. Her pursuit of journalism is not only about success, it is about voice. In a society that would silence her, every article she writes is a declaration of existence. Episode 7 revealed the cost of that voice. It exposed the emotional wounds she carries as she struggles to balance duty, dreams, and survival. The hidden meaning in Peggy's journey is powerful. She's not simply a supporting character. She is a mirror reflecting the harsh reality that wealth and status are privileges often denied to those who deserve them most. Together, these arcs weave a deeper truth about the Gilded Age. This is not a story of fashion or fortune alone. It is a story of transformation. Old power is decaying. New power is rising. And in between, individuals are forced to choose whether to bend, break, or rise above the weight of expectation. The closing moments of Episode 7 did not feel like an ending. They felt like a door swinging open into something far more dangerous. Every glance between rivals, every hushed word in the shadows, every strained smile hinted that the world of the Gilded Age is about to erupt. And that eruption is what the trailer for Episode 8 teases with such intensity. The trailer wastes no time in reminding us that this is not simply a battle of manners. It is war dressed in silk and diamonds. We see Bertha preparing another move. Her expression set with the confidence of a woman who refuses to lose. But her opponents are not sitting quietly. The brief flashes show whispers, alliances forming in back rooms, and the clear suggestion that her climb to power may finally meet resistance strong enough to wound her. The imagery is sharp, the music urgent, telling us that the game has reached a new level. Agnes appears in the trailer too, her face carved with defiance. The look in her eyes suggests that she is not finished fighting, no matter how much her world is crumbling. A line of dialogue, though brief, carries weight. It is less about her control and more about her survival. The trailer shows us a woman who would rather go down with dignity than surrender to change. The tension will ignite in Episode 8. Marian's presence in the preview is quieter, yet it feels significant. A single exchange hints that she may soon be forced to make a choice that could divide her loyalties forever. Her path has always been one of balance, but Episode 8 promises to push her beyond that balance and force her into action. The subtle framing of her scenes, the hesitation in her voice, the uncertainty in her gaze, all point to a moment of the decision that could alter her entire story. Peggy's role in the trailer feels heavier as well. There is a clear sense that her professional ambitions and her personal convictions are colliding. A tense conversation and a glimpse of her standing alone suggest that Episode 8 will test not just her career, but her spirit. The questions raised by her arc are not simply about success. They are about justice, truth, and the strength to speak when silence would be easier. Every shot in the trailer is crafted to build suspense. Quick cuts of lavish dinners, tense confrontations, and characters walking through shadowed hallways remind us that beneath the glamour, danger is everywhere. The contrast between glittering ballrooms and whispered betrayals is more striking than ever. This is not the polite society it pretends to be. This is a battlefield where fortunes, reputations, and futures can be destroyed in an instant. The brilliance of the Episode 8 trailer lies in what it refuses to show. It does not reveal outcomes. It reveals tension. It does not answer questions. It raises them. It leaves us wondering who will strike first, who will be caught off guard, and who will pay the price when ambition finally collides with tradition in full force. Episode 8 is shaping up to be the turning point of the entire season. If Episode 7 was about exposing the cracks in society, Episode 8 looks ready to widen them into a full collapse. The trailer gave us glimpses of tension, but the real question is what these moments will mean when the story plays out. One strong theory is that Bertha, Russell's rise, will finally meet its sharpest challenge. She has built her empire on spectacle and persistence, but her victories have painted a target on her back. The alliances hinted at in the trailer suggest that old money may unite against her in one last desperate attempt to preserve their world. If that happens, Bertha will need more than wealth. She will need allies who are loyal beyond profit, and that may be her greatest weakness. Power can be bought, but loyalty is earned. The prediction here is simple. Bertha may win another battle, but the cost could isolate her more than ever before. Agnes stands on the opposite side, but she is no longer untouchable. Episode 8 could push her into a position where she must choose between her pride and her family. Her stern resistance has made her a symbol of tradition, but symbols cannot hold forever against the pressure of change. A likely outcome is that Agnes will be forced into an uneasy compromise. That compromise may save her position, but it will come at a personal cost that cuts deep. She may keep her dignity in public, yet lose something vital in private. Marian is perhaps the most unpredictable character moving into episode 8. The small glimpses in the trailer suggest a crossroads. If she chooses independence, she risks angering both Agnes and Bertha, leaving herself vulnerable. If she chooses loyalty to either side, she sacrifices her own identity. The theory that stands strongest is that Marian will finally step out of the shadow of these two women and claim her own voice. It will not be dramatic at first, but subtle choices, a word, an action. Her refusal will shift her path and ripple across the rest of the season. Peggy's story feels destined to break wide open. She has been carrying the weight of both professional and personal battles. In episode 8, the prediction is that her journalism will uncover something society wants hidden. The truth will not only put her in danger socially, but it may also place her at odds with the very people she thought she could trust. Peggy is not written to be silent. She will speak, and when she does, the fallout will be explosive. The overarching theory for episode 8 is that every character will be forced into a decision where safety is no longer possible. Choices will define futures. Silence will no longer protect, and the glitter of high society will no longer be enough to cover the fractures tearing it apart. The Gilded Age has been building to this moment, and episode 8 looks ready to deliver the confrontation we have been waiting for. Asterisk as we move toward episode 8. One truth becomes clear. The Gilded Age is no longer a story about gowns and grand halls alone. It has become a battlefield where ambition, loyalty, and betrayal decide who survives in the glittering world of New York's elite. Every character is standing at a crossroads. Some will rise, others will fall. And all of them will be changed forever by the choices they make. The power struggles that began as whispers in ballrooms are now thundering like war drums. Bertha Russell's hunger for recognition, Agnes Van Ryan's desperate hold on tradition, Marian's search for freedom, and Peggy's fight for voice have all reached a breaking point. Episode 8 is not just the next step in their journey. It is the storm that will either strengthen them or sweep them away. This season has shown us that power wears many masks. Sometimes it comes dressed in diamonds and laughter, sometimes in sharp words and icy glares, and sometimes in quiet defiance that grows into unstoppable force. The brilliance of the Gilded Age is that it strips away the shine and exposes the raw hunger underneath. It shows us that in a society built on wealth and appearances, the most dangerous weapon is truth. The trailer makes one promise. Nothing will remain the same. Every alliance, every rivalry, and every secret is about to collide in a way that will leave lasting scars. For viewers, this means episode 8 will not just entertain. It will shock, it will challenge, and it will set the stage for an unforgettable conclusion to Season 3. So as you prepare for the next episode, ask yourself, who do you believe will triumph? Who will lose everything? And who will surprise us by revealing a strength we never expected? Now I want to hear from you. Share your theories in the comments. Do you think Bertha will finally break the resistance of old money? Will Marian risk everything for independence? Will Peggy uncover a truth that changes the game forever? Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed the breakdown. and subscribe so you don't miss the next analysis. The story of the Gilded Age is building towards something extraordinary, and together we will uncover every layer of its secrets. The Gilded Age has always been more than a costume drama. It is a reflection of a society in transition, a story of wealth, power, and survival, dressed in velvet and lace. Episode 8 does not just promise to move the story forward. It promises to expose the deeper themes that have been woven carefully across the season. One prediction that feels certain is that alliances will shift more dramatically than ever before. Old enemies may become temporary allies when survival is at stake. We have already seen hints that the families divided by tradition and ambition are being forced closer together. The prediction here is that Episode 8 will show us unlikely handshakes, conversations behind closed doors, and bargains made in whispers. These alliances will not last, but they will set the stage for betrayals that cut deeper when they break. Another key theme is the price of ambition. Bertha Russell has been climbing step by step, but ambition without limits always demands payment. Episode 8 could show that payment arriving in the form of scandal, exposure, or personal loss. She may win the battle in society, but lose in her household, as cracks in her relationships begin to show under the pressure. The brilliance of her character is that she can never stop reaching higher, even when the cost grows unbearable. That is both her power and her tragedy. Agnes Van Ryn represents the cost of resistance. Her pride is legendary, yet pride can only hold back the tide for so long. Episode 8 may finally place her in a moment where she must face what she fears most, that the world no longer bends to her authority. Her struggle is not only against Bertha, but against time itself, and time is undefeated. The prediction is that Agnes will experience a loss so personal it shakes even her unbreakable pride. Marian's role in the larger themes is freedom. She has been carefully moving between sides, yet Episode 8 could force her to take a bold stand. Her arc may prove that the true revolution is not in grand speeches or wealth, but in quiet acts of independence. A single choice from her could ripple across the season and turn her into the symbol of change that neither Agnes nor Bertha ever intended her to be. Peggy carries the most profound weight of all. Her fight is not about wealth or family honor. It is about equality and justice. Her work as a journalist places her at the heart of truth in a society built on appearances. The prediction for Episode 8 is that Peggy's voice will not just challenge those in power, it will threaten to expose the lies that keep their world standing. And once that truth is released, there is no way back. The larger theme of Season 3 becomes clear in these predictions. The glitter of the Gilded Age is a mask. Beneath it is fear, hunger, and struggle. Episode 8 will remind us that no mask lasts forever. The diamonds, the gowns, and the grand halls can only hide the fractures for so long. And when those fractures break open, the true face of society will be revealed.